हेलो एवरीवन। आज मैं आप सबसे इंग्लिश राइटिंग स्किल्स के अंतर्गत एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक दैट इज रिपोर्ट राइटिंग के बारे में बात करूंगी। रिपोर्ट राइटिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन ऑल एकेडमिक डिसिप्लिन्स। हम आईएससी की बात करें, सीबीएसई की, इंटरनेशनल बोर्ड, एनीथिंग, रिपोर्ट राइटिंग इज अ टॉपिक विच इज डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू बी आस्क्ड एंड इज एक्चुअली वेरी स्कोरिंग. In ISC, report writing comes as one of the compositions given for guided composition writing or directed composition writing. Why is it called guided or directed? Because some points are given as the question prompt or hints which you are supposed to elaborate on to write an effective report. At the same time, in CBSE also, this topic is asked for long composition, right? So from examination perspective, this topic is very important. Now let's begin with report writing. Before learning any topic, we need to know why are we learning it, what is the objective or the purpose of learning this topic. So as far as report writing is concerned, reporting is to communicate information in the briefest, most efficient way possible with no unnecessary waffle. Now, you see, अगर हम generally बात करें, report means to narrate an event, an incident or an accident, right? कुछ किसी चीज के बारे में बताना, किसी घटना के बारे में बताना. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आपके स्कूल में कोई इंसिडेंट हुआ जिसके बारे में आपको अपने टीचर को रिपोर्ट करना है. तो क्या आपका टोन, आपका लैंग्वेज, आपका तरीका, आपका लेंथ उतना ही होगा जितना जब आप अपने किसी फ्रेंड को बताएंगे? नहीं. जब आप अपने टीचर को वो बात बताएंगे तो आपको थोड़ा लैंग्वेज में फॉर्मल भी होना होगा, ब्रीफ में आपको वो बात बतानी होगी और थोड़ा इफेक्टिवली भी बतानी होगी, राइट? सो रिपोर्ट राइटिंग इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू नरेट एन इंसिडेंट और एन एक्सीडेंट और एनी इवेंट दैट हैज ऑलरेडी टेकन प्लेस. ओके, सो द ऑब्जेक्टिव इज टू कम्युनिकेट इंफॉर्मेशन को कम्युनिकेट करना, बताना. Structure of report writing, it is exactly the way any composition is written. In my previous video, I have already talked to you about it, like introduction, body and conclusion. इंट्रोडक्शन में क्या क्या बातें बताई जानी चाहिए, बॉडी में आप किस तरह से पैराग्राफ्स फॉर्म करेंगे और कंक्लूजन में आपको क्या क्या चीजें बतानी है, इस बारे में मैं आपसे प्रीवियस वीडियो में बात कर चुकी हूं, जिसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में है. अगर किसी ने नहीं देखा है तो देख सकते हैं. Now, here I have jotted down some points to remember while writing a report. Number one, it should preferably be written in the third person. Right? आप जो नरेशन करेंगे वो थर्ड पर्सन नरेशन होना चाहिए. Good to use the passive form of verb. Now you need to understand why the passive form of verb. Because here the doer or the subject is not as important as the action is important. All right. If we say that the police caught the robbers, okay, so here the police is being emphasized upon who is the subject or the doer of the action. But in reporting, we focus more on the action than the doer. Like the robbers were caught by the police. Okay, so that's what we need to understand. Next is include the aids, directions given in question, like any graph, chart, diagram, or points, etc. See, usually at the school level, it is seen that for report writing, you are always provided with some question prompt, means some hint or direction or guidance, and that can be given in different forms. That can be given in point forms, the way it is given in ISC. In CBSE also, the question is given at length where they provide a situation. So that is also a kind of prompt. Sometimes you are given a bar, diagram, a graph to write a report upon. So whatever hint is given, you need to include all points which are given in the question. Let's talk about the types of reports that you may get in your examination. Report on an event or function, newspaper or magazine report, report on a graph, bar chart or pie chart, report on a science experiment or lab experiment, which is very important for science students basically, business report or research report. Now, out of these six types of reports that I have mentioned over here, for English language paper, the first two reports, that is report on an event or a function and newspaper or magazine report, they are the most important. If you are a science student, of course, you should know how to write a report on science experiment or lab procedure. So I am going to talk about all these types of report in this video. Let's talk about the first type of report, that is report on an event or a function. So here, I have jotted down some points. I have given some important points that are supposed to be kept in mind while writing such report. While reporting on an event or function, you need to write about, first of all, the nature of the event. Second, the occasion or background information. The date, time, place. Date, time, place should come in the very first paragraph of your report. The chief guest, of course, if it is some event or function, the chief guest would definitely be there. You need to give his name with some brief introduction. Then the program description. All right. Program description mean all kinds of programs that took place at that time, and the comment or your opinion on the program, and then the conclusion. So these are all main points that have to be kept in mind while writing a report on any event or a function. So here, as you can see, I have given a sample report about annual sports day. So look, by XYZ, XYZ can be the person who is writing this report. So here I have given this sample report. You can just try to concentrate, focus on the structure, how it looks like. And yes, here I have given only two paragraphs, but it is not necessary. The length of your report depends on the word limit that has been provided. Like for ISC, it has to be not more than 300 words, which means 250 to 300 words at least you are supposed to write. For CBSE, it is 150 to 200 words that a student is supposed to write. So the length of your report depends on the word limit that has been provided. And accordingly, the way I told you in the previous video, accordingly, you need to divide the paragraphs. See, one introductory paragraph and concluding paragraph, they are mandatory for you to have. And after that, 2, 3 paragraphs in which in every paragraph, you have to give a new point related to the report. All right. Now let's talk about the next one, which is again very important, newspaper or magazine report. While writing a newspaper or magazine report, you need to include a catchy headline as a title. Please understand, whenever we are writing a report for newspaper or magazine, we need to give such a headline which is able to grab the attention of the readers, as you see in newspapers also, right? So, catchy headline it should have. Then start answering the questions like what happened, when and where, how it happened, the people involved in the incident, accident, or the event, the comments, witness, or evidence to justify the incident. You see, you need to give some statements also, the people who were there, right? So that would be working as an evidence also to prove your points or to prove that what all you are saying is true. And yes, of course, your opinion or comments as the conclusion. Children, I've already told you that whatever composition you write, whatever kind of composition it is, whether you are writing an essay or you are writing a report or an article or a speech or a debate, you need to conclude with your own opinion on it, okay, on the subject, right? Your opinion is a must for the examiner to know, because you have a separate marks for that. Fine. Now, here you see a sample report which I have taken from the newspaper itself. It says, meet first woman fighter pilot to be part of war games abroad. Then another sample report I have given, which has been taken from the New York Times. So here also you can see in brief, you have to tell everything. Now, the next type of report that I'm going to talk about is the report on a graph, bar chart, or pie chart. While writing such reports, you need to keep the following points in mind. Remember, you are writing for someone who cannot see the graph or chart or diagram you have before you. So, you need to describe, you need to elaborate on everything, whatever that chart or diagram shows you. All right. The reader is not going to see that. That is given to you only. But the reader should be able to create a picture. The reader should be given all the information that has been provided to you through that chart or diagram. The report should be brief and focused. Use simple, accurate language. This is what I would like to tell you for all types of reports. There is no use of making such complex sentences where you yourself get messed up, right? It's better write simple but effective language. Your language must be clear to the reader. Connectors and linking phrases must be used to show the relation between different items of information. In the first introductory paragraph, write what the graph is about, its date, location, or overall pattern that you observe through that graph. So, the description of the graph should be given in the very first paragraph of such kind of report. In the conclusion, do not write your personal observation or response. Sum up the global trends shown on the figure and make a comparison if possible. Just keep to the facts. Now, as I told you, every composition has to be ended or has to be concluded with your opinion. Now, this is the type of report where your opinion is not required. Here, you are supposed to sum up the ideas that have been presented in that graph or the diagram that is given to you. All right. So you just need to keep yourself to the facts. You are not supposed to give your personal opinion here. As you can see, this sample report, which has been shown over here, see these samples which I am showing you, the idea is just to give you a picture of the kind of structure that a report follows. Okay. Otherwise, composition is something which should always be written by everyone on his own. I have seen many children copying it from here and there, but no children. You must develop your writing skills so that you are able to write anything that is required, whether it is your literature answers or any sort of composition for your language. The next is report on science experiment or laboratory procedure. See, this is not a part of your syllabus for English language, but yes, I would like to mention some points because they'll be beneficial, especially for the science students. While writing a laboratory report, you need to write about what the procedure or experiment is, when and where it is being carried out, purpose or aim of the experiment, the equipment or ingredients used, steps of experiments or process, the observation on result or outcome. See, I am giving you these points so that you take any question from previous papers and elaborate on these points. Read these points and then write. Okay, so they'll be very helpful for you. See, this sample report, it tells about the aim of the experiment. The experiment is actually Archimedes' principle. So it tells about the aim and then apparatus required, and then what is the principle actually, and then the procedure that you followed, and then your observation. So now, as I told you in the beginning, there are other reports also, business report, research report, but they are not required for you as a student or at school level. Now, from examination point of view, let me talk about the marking scheme of a report. Marks are awarded on the basis of two things, content and expression. See, this I told you in that video of composition writing. Any composition is marked on the basis of these two things only. One is the content, means the subject matter. An expression means linguistic ability. Linguistic ability means the kind of vocabulary you are using, how good you are at your grammar, whether you are using proper punctuation or not. Okay, so all that is counted in linguistic ability. One thing I need to tell you, children, for content, of course, you will be given marks on the basis of the points that you are writing. But as far as expression is concerned, for that, you know what the examiners do? They count all the mistakes or the errors that you are committing while writing your composition. Okay, like if you are making any kind of error on tenses or punctuation, use of capital letter, everything is counted. They read your composition and they keep pointing out the mistakes that you are making. Then those mistakes are counted, and accordingly it is decided how much marks should be given for the expression. So please make it a point. That's why I told you that revision is very important. You must revise your composition to point out your own mistakes. All right. Next is all points given in guidelines must be included. Other points may be added. Please understand, I told you, at the school level, whenever you are asked to write a report, you'll definitely be given some prompt. You'll definitely be given some hint. in the form of points, and those points must be included in your composition. If you leave out any point from there, your marks will be deducted. Of course, if you have some other point in your mind, you can always add that, and it gives a very good impression to the examiner. But you are not supposed to leave any point that has been given in the question. To be written in paragraphs and not too long. Of course, paragraphs are to be formed, and each paragraph should tell about a new point. Formal language, no unnecessary information. Just keep yourself to the facts. Knowledge of appropriate vocabulary and technical terms that suit a kind of writing. See, sometimes you get a kind of topic which needs some specific vocabulary. Okay, so you need to use that vocabulary, right? Amplification necessary. Please understand this point. You need to amplify your ideas. It's not that the point that is given in the question, you are just writing the point in a sentence form. No, you need to amplify it. You need to write more about it, explain it. Okay, only then you can be given marks for that point. Otherwise, the point is already given in the question. Why will you be given the marks for it? You will be given the marks for amplification of that particular point. Now, see, this is an idea that I have tried to give about the format of a report. You can give any type of format. In this first one, you can see the title, and just after the title there is the byline. Byline means the name of the person who has written that report. The name has to come. But in another format, which is given on the right side, you can see the title or heading is there, then your content is there, and byline is at the end. Let me tell you, children, that which is given on the left side is in trend these days. Okay, most of the boards are following this format only. Even in the newspapers, this same format is used. This right side format is an old format. Okay, so it's better that you go with the left one. In brief, I have told you all important aspects that are required to write a good report. I hope you people have understood. And if you still have any doubts, please write to me on the comment box. My email ID is also given. I would like to read your reports and I will definitely reply you to improve them. That's all for today. Thank you so much. Bye bye.